Baseball, perhaps more than any other sport, is a sport full of statistics, and if you've played this game long enough, you know about box scores and you know about how many numbers there are in baseball. Sometimes these statistics are an accurate measurement of a player, but a lot of times they're not. And so on this segment, I want to talk about the importance of getting good at-bats and good pitching performance and looking at yourself maybe a different way than what a box score typically captures. So think about this. You know, a lot of the things that you do well on a baseball field really are not measured, and so it's vitally important that you start to keep track of some of the things that you're doing and doing well that maybe today don't come up in the box score, but over time will. So for example, if you're a position player, if you go out and you hit 4 hard balls today in the game, but yet all 4 are caught, maybe 4 line drives, in the box score it's going to look like an 0 for 4 game. You're batting 0-0-0. Not very impressive. However, you know that if you do that over time, game in, game out, if you're hitting the ball hard, most of those balls are going to fall in and you're going to be a very successful baseball player. Same thing with pitchers. Sometimes you're making great pitches, your velocity's good, you're hitting your spots, but you're just playing against a team that's full of good hitters and they're actually hitting those good pitches. Again, it's not going to come out in your strikeout total or your earned run average, but you know that if you do this over time, you're going to be successful. So I want you to start to get in the habit of keeping a journal and keeping track of your good at-bats, your good pitching performances, and start to measure those on things beyond the numbers. So again, going back to that hitting example, if you are the type of player who's regularly hitting line drives and you're really on top of the ball, I want you to mark down that you are in a good groove, that you are stroking, and that you're feeling good about your at-bats. That's a lot better than just simply putting in the stats that are not going to capture what I just mentioned a moment ago. Similarly, for pitchers, I want you to measure yourself in different ways. You know, how many innings did you go? How was your stamina, your endurance? Were you hitting your spots? Was your velocity where you thought it should be? If you're doing those things, ultimately, that's all you control, because once the ball leaves your hands, you can't do anything about that. What the hitter does is ultimately up to his skill level at that point. So I want you to keep a running journal. I want you to measure the game within the game, and I want you to set future goals accordingly. So if you see that there are some areas that you're not doing very well, capture that in your journal, set future goals, and ultimately that's going to help you with your confidence in reaching your full potential. So think about the importance of getting good at-bats and good pitching performances, and that those are not always captured by traditional box scores. Do you have a pregame routine before you go out and play every day? If not, tune in, because pregame routines are vitally important to your baseball success. And so on this segment, I want to talk a little bit about pregame routines, some of the things that you can do, and why pregame routines are so important. First of all, it's important that you take ownership over everything that you do. And so by the time you arrive at the ballpark, the first thing you want to do to start to build your confidence is take ownership and be in control. And so what that means is knowing ahead of time the things that you want to do, because when you're proactive in your environment, it leaves it impossible for you to be reactive. And that's an important point, because you think about being proactive means that you have certain things, certain rituals that you do, certain things that you think about, and it's impossible for your mind to have 2 thoughts at the same exact time. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you're reading over your goals, it's impossible for you to be nervous at the same time about the pitcher you're going to face this afternoon. So be proactive, not reactive, and develop a plan that feels comfortable to you. So your pregame routine does not need to be 45 minutes long. For somebody watching today, maybe that's what it takes, but most guys that I work with, it's just a couple minutes here and there. It's in the locker room, maybe looking at their journal, looking at their goals, maybe listening to a particular song or type of music to put them in a good mood state. When they go out and stretch, maybe they're using imagery at that time to kind of see themselves be successful. So there's a lot of different things. There's really no wrong way to do a pregame routine.